I planted 5 lemon seeds from a fresh lemon to see how many would grow into healthy plants. At first, everything looked perfect. All 5 seeds sprouted successfully, but then something unexpected started happening. One by one, the tiny lemon seedlings began to die. Some turned yellow, some stopped growing, and one simply collapsed. By the end of the experiment, only one lemon plant survived. So what went wrong? Was it the soil, the watering, the sunlight, or something else? Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happened, what killed the other seedlings, and the simple mistake many gardeners make when growing lemons from seed. I wanted to run a simple experiment to understand how lemon seeds actually grow and what helps them survive in the early stages. So I carefully took 5 fresh seeds from a ripe lemon and planted them in soil. To make sure the experiment stayed fair, I kept every condition exactly the same for all the seeds. They were planted using the same soil mix, watered on the same schedule, and placed in the same sunny spot so each seedling received equal sunlight. By controlling these factors, it would be easier to see what truly affects lemon seedlings. At that point, everything seemed balanced, and all I could do was patiently wait. During the germination stage, which usually happens within the first 1 to 3 weeks, lemon seeds begin their early growth process. The seed first absorbs moisture from the soil, which activates the life inside it. Soon a tiny root starts growing downward into the soil to anchor the plant and absorb nutrients. After that, a small shoot slowly pushes upward through the soil surface. Eventually, the first delicate leaves appear. After about 2 weeks, something exciting happened in the experiment. All 5 lemon seeds began to sprout. Tiny green shoots appeared above the soil, looking fresh and healthy. It felt like a success, but the real challenge was still ahead. The first seedling problem appeared very slowly and almost went unnoticed in the beginning. At first, one of the small lemon seedlings started turning slightly yellow, while the others still looked healthy and green. Its leaves began to look weaker and softer compared to the rest of the plants. Many beginner gardeners believe that seedlings need to be watered every single day to stay healthy. However, lemon seedlings have extremely delicate and sensitive roots. When the soil stays too wet for too long, the roots cannot get enough oxygen to breathe properly. Over time, this lack of oxygen causes the roots to rot. Once root rot begins, the plant slowly weakens and collapses. That is exactly what happened to the first seedling in the experiment. Here is something many gardeners don't always realize when growing plants from seed. Not every seed has the same strength or potential to become a healthy plant. Even when the seeds come from the exact same lemon, their genetic strength can still be very different. Some seeds naturally contain stronger genetic energy and are able to grow into healthy, vigorous plants. Others simply do not have enough stored energy to develop strong roots and steady growth. In this experiment, one of the lemon seedlings looked healthy at first and even started growing normally. But after some time, its growth suddenly slowed down. The leaves remained small, the stem stayed thin, and eventually the plant dried out completely and died. Sometimes the seed itself is simply weaker. Lemon plants absolutely love sunlight and depend on it for strong, healthy growth. In general, young lemon seedlings need around 6 to 8 hours of bright light every day to develop properly. When plants do not receive enough sunlight, they begin to grow in an unusual way. Instead of becoming thick and strong, the seedlings stretch upward as they search for more light. This weak, stretched growth is commonly known as leggy growth. In the experiment, one of the lemon seedlings started growing taller and taller than the others. However, its stem became extremely thin and weak. The plant looked fragile and unstable. Because the stem could not support the plant's weight, it eventually collapsed and died within just a few days. Another common problem when growing lemon plants is poor soil drainage, which can seriously affect young seedlings. If the soil is too heavy, dense, or compact, Water cannot flow through it easily. Instead, the water stays around the roots for a long time. Healthy plant roots need a balance of moisture and oxygen to function properly. When the soil holds too much water, the roots struggle to get enough air and begin to experience stress. In this experiment, one of the lemon seedlings slowly started showing signs of root stress. Its leaves began curling slightly, and the plant looked less healthy than the others. Growth slowed down noticeably, and no new leaves appeared. Eventually, the seedling stopped growing altogether, and soon after, the plant died as well. After several weeks of observation, only one lemon seedling remained alive in the experiment. While the other seedlings slowly failed and disappeared, this one continued growing steadily. Its leaves stayed bright green and looked healthy compared to the others. The stem gradually became thicker and stronger, showing that the plant was developing properly. Beneath the soil, its roots were successfully spreading and establishing themselves firmly. This seedling seemed to have the perfect balance of growing conditions. It received enough sunlight each day to stay healthy. The watering level remained just right without keeping the soil too wet. The soil also drained well, allowing the roots to breathe. Most importantly, the seed itself was naturally strong. Sometimes nature works this way. Out of many seeds, only the strongest plant survives. Over the next few weeks, the surviving lemon plant continued developing steadily and began showing clear signs of healthy growth. New leaves started appearing regularly, each one slightly larger and stronger than the previous ones. The stem gradually became thicker and more stable, allowing the plant to stand upright with confidence. Beneath the soil, the root system continued spreading deeper and wider, helping the plant absorb water and nutrients more efficiently. At this stage, the lemon plant was no longer a fragile seedling struggling to survive. It had successfully passed the most delicate and difficult phase of early growth. Once a lemon plant develops strong roots, its overall chances of survival increase dramatically. If you want better success growing lemons from seed, there are several important tips to follow. First, always use fresh lemon seeds, as they germinate faster and have a higher chance of survival. Second, plant the seeds immediately after removing them from the fruit, because dry seeds often lose their ability to sprout. Third, use well-draining soil by mixing garden soil with compost or sand, which prevents waterlogging and root rot. Fourth, provide plenty of sunlight, as lemon plants thrive in bright conditions and develop stronger stems and leaves. Finally, avoid overwatering. Allow the top layer of soil to dry slightly, ensuring roots get both water and oxygen for healthy growth. Here's an interesting fact that many gardeners might not realize. Lemon trees grown from seed usually take several years before they start producing fruit. In most cases, it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 years for a side-grown lemon tree to bear its first lemons. While this may seem like a long wait, the process of nurturing a tiny seed into a full-grown tree is incredibly rewarding. Watching it grow gradually, developing roots, stems, branches, and leaves, is one of the most satisfying experiences in gardening. The patience and care involved make finally seeing fruit on your tree even more special and memorable. Gardening is full of small experiments like this. Sometimes plants grow perfectly, sometimes they fail, and sometimes only one survives, but every experience teaches something valuable. Even the failed plants help us understand how nature works, and with every experiment, we become better gardeners. So out of 5 lemon seeds, only one survived, but that one plant revealed something important about how lemon seedlings grow. The right balance of sunlight, watering, soil, and seed strength makes all the difference. Growing plants from seed isn't always easy, but the lessons you learn along the way make the journey worthwhile. Have you ever tried growing lemons from seed? How many of your seedlings survived? Share your experience in the comments. And if you enjoy simple gardening experiments like this, make sure to subscribe for more plant growing tips, because sometimes the smallest seeds teach the biggest lessons.